Hey everyone, so you know how sometimes you pick up a book and it just gets you? Like it reads your mind and whispers, I see you and I have answers? That's exactly how I felt diving into Mbogos. Don't overthink it. If you're anything like me, the title alone probably made you feel seen. Because let's be honest, we've all been there, right? That feeling of being caught in a mental loop, wasting precious energy on worries and what ifs. And Bogo, who frankly feels like our wise internet sister, has truly given us a gift with this book. It's not just a book about overthinking, she calls it a practical, doable guide to stop doing it and find wholeness and freedom. So grab a comfy drink because I want to tell you all about how this book helped me and how it might just help you too. First off, you might be wondering, what even is overthinking really? Is it just I thinking a lot? Well, Anne clarifies that it's not about those big important life decisions, like changing careers or ending a relationship. Those definitely need dedicated thought. Instead, Anne talks about lavishing mental energy on things that simply don't deserve it. It's that unproductive or even destructive loop of thought that consumes your mental energy, even when you know you have better things to do. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself replaying a conversation from last Thursday, or spending 20 minutes imagining dire conclusions about a short email from your boss? Or maybe fret about the small stuff, like whether to exchange those new jeans or if your library finds are spiraling out of control, and cause the suspense cycle lots of mental action, zero constructive output, and you just feel more agitated with every click. It's exhausting. It makes you feel crappy, and shockingly, studies show it can even hurt your relationships and contribute to mental health issues like depression and anxiety. And here's the kicker, it affects women more than men due to a combination of neuroscience and socialization, making us more prone to rumination and indecision. So why is it so hard to stop doing that, you ask? Anne points to a few culprits, one of the biggest being something she calls analysis paralysis. This is when you overthink things so much you can't even make a decision. She shares a hilarious story about her husband, Will, as a kid, struggling with whether to go to Target with his mom or stay home in case a friend called to play. He'd deliberate forever, wasting time and missing out. As grown-ups, we often do the same, just with higher stakes. One reason we get stuck is our intellectual curiosity. If you're someone who loves to learn and sees a million possibilities, that's a great trait, but it can inadvertently make simple decisions complex, leading to information overload. You think, if only I had one more piece of data, the answer would be clear, but all that extra info just overwhelms you, making the situation worse. And then there's the sneaky villain, perfectionism. Oh, perfectionism. Anne admits she's a card-carrying member of Overthinkers Anonymous, and this one definitely hit home for her. If you equate right with perfect, you just freeze. You can't make a decision because the absolute, unquestionable best option isn't screaming at you. It's not just about deciding, it's also about second-guessing decisions you've already made, torturing yourself with what ifs long after the moment has passed. This drains so much time and energy, and frankly, makes you miserable. So how do we break free from this mental trap? And offers practical, actionable strategies, calling them small shifts that cumulatively transform your life. It's a process, not an instant fix. One of the first things she emphasizes is believing you can change. It sounds simple, but if you don't believe a solution exists, you won't look for it. She tells a story about a button in her minivan that turned off a frustrating camera feature she'd been annoyed for a year because she didn't know the solution was literally at her fingertips. She urges us to describe ourselves differently, not as a chronic overthinker, but as someone who is learning to make confident decisions, to filter out the unhelpful, and to put overthinking aside. It's like learning to drive. You practice basic skills and learn to respond to trouble. It might be hard right now, she says, but it won't stay hard forever. She suggests tackling analysis paralysis by doing a reality check. There's rarely one perfect answer, often there are many good ones. Then, you just need to get moving. Even a baby step shifts momentum. And for that perfectionism, kick it to the curb. Give yourself permission to fail. Or, as Anne likes to reframe it, let's experiment. This iterative approach, like software development's minimum viable product, frees you from the need to get it perfect the first time. The goal is to get a result, not a win. She shares an example of her family finally deciding to break up a long car trip to the beach into 2 days after years of agonizing over it. They called it an experiment, and guess what? They loved it. And even if they hadn't, they would have stopped wondering about it, which is a win in itself. Another powerful strategy is to decide what matters by relying on your core values. When your decisions flow from what you truly care about, it makes choices so much simpler. And shares the story of her friend Ellie, who says yes to demanding trips and causes related to supporting abused women because that value is deeply ingrained, or how Anne herself and her husband moved to a new neighborhood and chose a school closer to home because they valued community. When you know your values, they clarify your objectives, influence how you spend your time and money, and shape where you focus your attention. You can even fact-check your values by looking at how you actually spend your time, money, and energy. It's about aligning your actions with who you want to be. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but Anne, isn't overthinking just in my head? She argues that overthinking is systemic, connected to your habits and physical spaces too. She tells a relatable, frantic story about losing immunization papers right before school started. Spiraling from paperwork is a mess to my whole life is a mess because she hadn't filed them earlier. The solution: complete the cycle. Finish what you start. Whether it's putting keys in their designated spot or mailing tax forms, clear the clutter because it distracts you and consumes mental energy. Don't duplicate work. Create systems like a packing list that you use repeatedly. And vitally, take care of your body. Sleep, exercise, and diet are roots of resilience that keep your brain healthy and focused. Oh, and take real breaks. Our brains get tired, and a tired brain is an overthinking brain. Okay, so how do you actually do that? How do you know when to speed up? Anne suggests learning to speed up to move on. She uses the analogy of riding a motorcycle. If you go too slow, you wobble. You have to speed up to ride steady. Sometimes, waiting time is just wasted time. If you're choosing between two good options, just pick one. She describes a situation with a friend trying to hire a business coach, agonizing between two great candidates, until their group told her to just flip a coin. The friend actually realized what she truly wanted after the coin flipped, so she hired the other coach. But the point is, she made a decision and moved on. It also applies when you know what to do but are dragging your feet, like Anne staying in a vibrating hotel room far too long before calling the front desk. And definitely, don't beat yourself up for small mistakes. It just keeps you stuck. Just choose to move on. And what if your brain just gets stuck on the bad stuff? No matter how hard you try to tend your garden. And dedicates a whole section to this, urging us to recognize that we get to choose what we think about. She defines rumination as a specific type of overthinking where you go over and over a problem without searching for a solution. Like a cow chewing its food, it prevents problem solving and causes anxiety. To interrupt this, you need a plan. She suggests paying attention to your thoughts, actively looking for the good, practicing gratitude, positive interpretations, and considering a different point of view. She asks, what would I tell my best friend if she were in this situation? Or what would I like about this if I liked it? You can also try to brush thoughts aside. Not now. Ignore invalid or unhelpful thoughts. Some thoughts don't deserve attention. Schedule time to overthink. Contain a worry to a specific period. Write it down, clarifies thoughts, and symbolically releases them. Distract yourself even for 8 minutes, and move your body to move your mind. Exercise as distraction. Then there's the powerful idea of limiting yourself to free yourself. Every decision, big or small, takes a toll on your finite mental energy, leading to decision fatigue. But how do you actually do that? How do you limit yourself without feeling restricted? And says you create routines, automatic but decisive patterns of behavior. Think of it as setting default settings for your life. This means you can eat the same thing like many high performers do to free up mental space. Adopt a signature dish for entertaining so you're not stressed about the food. Wear the same thing. Think President Obama's gray or blue suits or a capsule wardrobe. To eliminate daily outfit decisions, adopt a signature look for special occasions. Limit yourself to one source when facing unfamiliar decisions like asking an interior decorator for just one store to buy bedding. Instead of browsing endless options, limit yourself to one time for recurring tasks. E.g., grocery day is Thursday, and crucially, limit technology creep by setting device-free zones or unsubscribing from sales emails, because our devices constantly demand decisions from us. And what about those times you feel overwhelmed or simply lack a skill? Ant's advice is simple: get someone else to do it. This isn't about being lazy, it's about strategic outsourcing to save your mental processing power. She talks about hiring someone to handle the technical side of her podcast so she could focus on the creative part. You can ask yourself, am I able to do it? Do I want to do it? Is it meaningful to me? Can I afford the mental space to do it myself? Sometimes the right person is a friend who's good at organizing, or a professional like a paint store designer who can instantly pick the perfect color. It's also smart to get help when you're getting started on a daunting project, getting a first draft or initial guidance from someone else, or when you need help wrapping up loose ends, like asking a coach if your workout form is correct, just to stop the nagging doubt and close that mental loop. So what happens when life just throws a wrench in your perfect plans and things literally go sideways? As advice, just pick something. She recounts a time in New York when she and her husband got caught in a downpour and froze, unable to decide where to go, ending up just walking in the rain. The consequence wasn't serious, but it showed how overthinking can make you miss out. Her friend's secret for finding places to eat on the fly: the worst that can happen isn't that bad. So I just pick something. When plans go awry, lean in, expecting good things. Remember that spontaneous moments can create the best memories, like her college campus losing power on a gorgeous spring day, leading to an unexpected wonderful day outdoors, and building margin for the unexpected in your schedule, so you can embrace spontaneity when it arises. This isn't just about preparing for things to go wrong, it's about making space for things to go unexpectedly right. Now, why does Anne dedicate a whole chapter to splurging? Isn't that, the opposite of being careful with decisions? This chapter is really about strategic indulgence and experiences that bring joy. Anne tells the story of her anxiety over a very expensive, non-refundable dinner reservation for her family at a fancy Chicago restaurant. Her husband reminded her that signature experiences are often expensive for a reason, like their trip to the Biltmore estate or seeing Hamilton. These aren't just costs, they're investments in memories. As research shows, experiences connect us more and become part of the stories we tell, lasting long after the material goods are forgotten. And remember, money isn't the only currency. Sometimes the splurge means spending time or energy, like driving out of your way to visit a new popsicle stand with family, even if it's past bedtime, because it creates a cherished memory. Finally, Anne encourages small shifts towards simple abundance. She describes her own struggle buying flowers at Trader Joe's, debating if she really needed them, only to regret not buying them later and forgetting something important. Overthinking often cuts us off from life's small pleasures, leading to a lose-lose situation. The antidote: resolve to be kind to yourself. Replace a scarcity mentality with an attitude of abundance. Identify your small treats, those inexpensive, quickly procured things that bring you joy, like a good pen or paying an extra $1 for guacamole, and then make the good stuff a habit. Put those small joys on autopilot, like Anne's rule to buy flowers every time she's at Trader Joe's, unless the selection is terrible or her own peonies are blooming. It's about consciously choosing joy, even in small ways, rather than overthinking your way out of it. So what's the big takeaway from Don't Overthink It? And Bogle wants us to realize that how we spend our days is how we spend our lives. Every minute spent overthinking is a minute not spent on things that truly matter. It's not just a personal problem. Our individual thoughts and actions create a ripple effect that impacts those around us and the world. By learning to cultivate a healthier thought life, we can become creators of justice and joy, compassion and peace in our daily interactions. It's about being intentional, living your way into your values, and choosing generosity, even in small moments, like giving a 100-person $5 and a granola bar without overthinking it. This book is a powerful reminder that you're not doomed to a life of overthinking. It takes practice, it takes effort, but by implementing these small shifts and trusting the process, you can gain control over your thoughts and in turn, your life. It invites us to live fresh, solid, and free. If you've ever felt trapped by your own mind, this book is a beacon, offering practical steps to move from mental exhaustion to peace and joy. I truly believe it will be a companion as you make both transformative decisions and navigate everyday dilemmas. So go on, pick up Don't Overthink It, and start your own journey towards a life less overcome and more alive.